Hello and welcome to the daily newscast within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us at the frequencies available at our website firstua.com. My name is Victoria Zabiyan and thank you for joining us. Military equipment will not move around the streets of Donbass and the settlements which are under the control of Ukraine. If it is, the drivers will use the other routes. It was reported by the head of the Donetsk region, Alexander Kikhtenko. He held a meeting with military men in Konstantinivka. At the same time, police has identified the initiators of social unrests in the settlement, which appeared because of the yesterday's road traffic accident. It was reported by the head of regional police, Vyacheslav Ambroskin, to our journalists. Before the evening, people had channeled off, but police work in heavy security.
No mass disorders are taking place in Konstantinivka of Donetsk area now. The situation is stable, people are at work in their workplaces. The people who try to destabilize the situation are identified and necessary steps have been taken. For the most part, it's young people ages 18 to 30 affected by alcohol. The investigation is taking place, clues are being collected, the active participants in the disorders are detained.
Yesterday in Konstantinivka, airborne assault vehicle had hit 3 pedestrians. 8-year-old girl died. Her aunt is in hospital now. At the place of accident, people have organized the protest action and have knocked over the police car. Also, they burned tires near the hostel where soldiers live. 4 soldiers who are guilty in the accident have been taken to Kramatorsk. Representatives of Ministry of Defense assure that guilty people will be punished. And this will not be social unrest at the border town. Advisor of Minister of Internal Affairs Anton Gerashchenko assured that police will not allow pro-Russian separatists to use the situation. He says that responsible for this accident people will be judged very soon and the court will be open. The case is under the control of High Military Prosecutor Anatoly Matyos, who is also at the Konstantinivka now.
Military procuracy investigators have arrived to the location. All witnesses are identified. 2 army men have been detained. One of them is a commander and another is private. They are suspected of the traffic accident and thus committing crime.
For the last 24 hours, terrorists violated the ceasefire for 30 times. They fired upon the positions of Ukrainian soldiers and residential districts. It was reported by the spokesperson of ATO headquarters, Anatoly Stelmach. According to him, the most activity of terrorists is fixed on Donetsk direction.
The illegal armed formation shell fired at Avdiivka at 7:50, 12:45, 17:30 using 122mm artillery. Besides, insurgents shot from tanks 3 times and twice they used mortars. Yesterday, the settlements Pisky and Opytne were fired upon by small arms and automatic grenade launchers. The thugs had fired upon Shirokine village of Mariupol area 4 times using small arms and mortars. In total, the enemy used mortars and grenade launchers 19 times. 3 times they used artillery, 4 times tanks and 7 times small arms.
Militants are getting to the front line on direction to Mariupol and Donetsk. It is the information of Group Information Resist and its head Dmytro Tymchuk. According to him, Russian terrorist group is preparing for the hit. They have tanks, air defense weapons and mortars. Mr. Tymchuk states that about the next lot of weapons from Russia. In particular, the echelon with multiple rocket launchers had come to Ilovaisk railway station. On the next direction, terrorists are providing the intelligence of Ukrainian soldiers' defense. Only in accordance to Ukrainian law. It is this the way Petro Poroshenko commanded the possible elections in Donbass.
I want to make an emphasis concerning the Ukrainian position, though there are some who dislike it. Today we heard a commentary of the Russian Foreign Affairs Ministry. The Ukrainian position is this: we will deal with the Donetsk and Lugansk representatives who will be elected legitimately, according to Ukrainian law, in the process which is consistent with international standards.
Energy, transport, borders and Transnistria. These are the main Ukrainian-Romanian agreements. For the first time for the last 7 years, President of Romania, Klaus Werner Iohannis, met President of Ukraine. They agreed about the cooperation in energy sphere. Already this week, the delegation from Naftogaz will leave to Bucharest for negotiations. Also, Ukraine and Romania will build new checkpoints at the common border. And cross-border cooperation will be simplified. Mr. Iohannis admits that Crimea was annexed negotiated in a legal way and that Minsk agreements should be executed by all sides. President of Romania assured that he supports territorial integrity of Ukraine and sanctions of European Union against Russia. He stated that he will make a speech at the Riga summit in support to visa-free regime between Ukraine and European Union.
We have made an agreement concerning our actions and regarding Pridnestrovia in order to assist the process of unfreezing this conflict and help the sovereign and independent Moldova restore its territorial integrity and to reintegrate Pridnestrovia region back into Moldova. I think it's important that we have several neighbors who respect borders. We need to strengthen the regional cooperation between Poland, Ukraine and Romania and create a certain solidarity group. Such a coordination strengthening in East Europe will make regional and European, in general, cooperation much stronger.
General Prosecutor's Office of Ukraine announced the vacancies for new people who will create a new structure. It was stated by advisor of General Prosecutor David Sakvarelidze. Lawyers, managers, spokesperson and analytics are in the list of needed people. According to Mr. Sakvarelidze, in new office they will fight with bureaucratic barriers in job of prosecutors and implement the modern mechanisms of investigation of crimes. CV will be accepted till the 25th of March.
With all gladness, I will accept CVs of those who want to build new type of prosecutor's office. I mean our employee and even those who never worked in the procuracy system. We do not have special requirements regarding years of experience. Better, of course, if the applicant has a specific experience in the development of some sorts of new institutions and or in the reformation of some system or in the private sector.
Appellate Court of the Kyiv has not decided whether to classify all materials concerning case of Alexei Pukach. The session has been postponed again. Earlier, the court gave 1 month to police to check whether there is a state-classified information in the documents. The judge reported that the part of documents has been declassified. The destiny of second part is decided. That is why the date of the next meeting has been adopted, 20th of April. In January 2013, the ex-head of Internal Intelligence Department has been convicted to life imprisonment for killing the journalist Georgi Gongadze. A year ago, judge decided to consider the appellation on the term of detention in closed regime. Washington encouraged Russia to stop the atrocities against Crimea citizens. It was written in the text of State Department of USA document. During the last year, situation with human rights in Crimea sharply worsened. The repressions against national and religious minorities has been strengthening. First of all, it touched Crimea Tatars. Fundamental freedoms are violated systematically. Locals are detained, interrogated, they disappear, and civil organizations and independent mass media are turned out of the peninsula. USA will never admit the illegal referendum in Crimea and its annexation. It was said by the spokesperson of foreign institution during the briefing. In the film about occupation of the Crimea, Vladimir Putin admitted the Russian troops has invaded the peninsula. Earlier, he denied this fact.
Last year, the people of Ukraine chose a future based on the values of democracy, free trade, and rule of law. In response, Russia used its military to forcibly seize and occupy Crimea, sovereign Ukrainian territory, and it staged an illegal so-called referendum in a feeble attempt to justify its actions. Over the last year, Russia has instituted repression on a mass scale in Crimea, driving out NGOs and leading non-Russian minorities, including the Crimean Tatars, to flee or go into hiding. This last year, Russia also continued to engage in destabilizing activities in southeastern Ukraine that have left more than 5,800 people dead and displaced at least 1 million more. So certainly our position has not changed in this regard.
Rare diamond is set forth in Dubai. The expensive stone in 100 carats is from South Africa. In the April, it will be auctioned off at the Sotheby's in New York. Jewelers hope to get near $25 million for it. This gem has a unique form and practically has no defects.
This is the only emerald.
It was the United Country newscast by First Ukraine. You can find more details at our website, firstua.com. Victoria Zabiyan was working for you in the studio. We wish you only good news. Take care and goodbye.